Today, I'm honored to be with you to sign legislation aimed at boosting our Kentucky workforce and supporting our workers. We all know Kentucky's economy is becoming a national powerhouse. We are celebrating the 2 best years of economic development in our history. During my administration, we've announced more than 830 private sector new location and expansions totaling $24.7 billion. And the best part, we've created 43,700 new Kentucky jobs. These are 43,700 good-paying jobs that bring dignity to an individual, security for a family, and opportunity for the next generation, for those kids that family is raising. We just took second nationally for economic development per capita and first in our region in Site Selection Magazine's 2022 Governor's Cup. For the first time in my lifetime, some of the biggest, most advanced companies on planet Earth are picking us, are picking Kentucky for the biggest projects in their history. Our amazing job growth is why last year we posted the lowest annual unemployment rate in the history of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and how last year we set the lowest monthly unemployment rate 4 separate times. To continue this economic momentum, we have to do everything we can to support our workforce, to find new strategies, and to continue to fill these growing number of great jobs. Before we get to today's bills, it's important to note some steps that we've already taken to support our flourishing economy. We have been working to remove barriers that keep our people out of the workforce, not by kicking them while they're down, but by lifting them up. That's why this administration is focused on removing health roadblocks for Kentuckians and accessing dental, vision, and hearing care. It's pretty simple. If we expect somebody to go work a job, they got to be able to see well enough to drive to the job and do the job. So let's get them a pair of glasses. Another major barrier is access to child care. To make child care more accessible to more Kentuckians, I've asked the General Assembly to fund universal pre-K. It's been proven to be the fastest way to get people back into the workforce, to save parents, especially in that year, between $12,000 and $13,000. And it's the best way to ensure that every Kentuckian is kindergarten ready, looking at that next workforce. We are in a race for talented workers, and that request is not a partisan issue. Governors from both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, are taking action. In fact, the Republican governors right across state lines are supporting universal pre-K right now, and if we don't do it, we will be at a competitive disadvantage. Speaking of the right thing to do, we are called to forgive, to provide second chances. So this past November, teaming up with the Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, we announced new programs aimed at transitioning people from incarceration to employment. Folks, that is a win-win. It fills job openings for willing employers, while at the same time, that job is the #1 thing that prevents somebody from reoffending. It makes our communities safer. Second chances are also needed for Kentuckians suffering from addiction. From launching a program to help employers guide their workers to addiction services when in need, to establishing recovery-ready communities, the General Assembly and the Executive Branch working together are creating pathways to help more people dealing with addiction get back into society, get their lives back on track, get back with their families, and hold that important job that helps them do that. We're also supporting our vital healthcare workforce, our healthcare heroes, those who stood on the front lines of the pandemic and multiple devastating weather events. So we joined together with industry partners to address issues like our nursing shortage head on. We created pathways to move qualified nurses through the pipeline faster. I also signed legislation that helps colleges and universities expand their nursing programs. We've done a lot of good work, but there's still a lot more to do. And if we want to be the #1 economy in this country, we have to continue to innovate, continue to look at that next step in workforce and in job creation. We're doing that today by signing 5 bills aimed at building on our progress. How we'll do this is I'll make some comments, invite the bill sponsors up, and then we will do a bill signing for each with everyone here to support it right over here. So first, I'm going to sign Senate Bill 57, which helps our military families. This legislation was sponsored by Senator Amanda Mays Bledsoe, and it's priority legislation for the Department of Defense as part of their military spouse occupational licensing initiative. The bill allows military spouses who are licensed cosmetologists in another state to work right away here in Kentucky. The bill assists service members and their spouses when they move because for far too long we were only focused on that military member who's important. But those families sacrifice too, and we ought to be making life easier for them as well. This bill builds on legislation I signed last year that made it easier for military spouses to obtain other occupational licenses. And it complements the work we are doing to make Kentucky the most military-friendly state in the country. I know we are all proud to be one of the first states to connect more active-duty military families with quality child care through our Military Child Care in Your Neighborhood. This program helps pay for child care for eligible military families when they can't find care on their own base or installation. We are so thankful for our military members. You all work tirelessly. It is your courage that continues to make the United States the freest country in the world, and the least we can do for your sacrifice is make life a little bit easier when you move here to the Commonwealth of Kentucky. I also want to recognize Kentucky National Guard Adjutant General General Lamberton, retired Brigadier General Stephen P. Bullard, who are here with us today. Thank you to our members of the National Guard, the best National Guard in the entire country. And to once again recognize all of our active military members. We want Kentucky to be a home while you're here, and we want you to love it so much you stay after you retire. Senator Bledsoe, would you join me to say a few words, and then we will sign Senate Bill 75. Senator Bledsoe. Congratulations. You're very welcome.
Thank you, Governor. I worked at the Council of State Governments a number of years ago and saw firsthand how important their job is in convening states to help people and help us work better. And it's just a privilege for me to be a small part of this legislation. And it really is about helping military families, reducing barriers to employment, helping their families substantially grow and be economically viable. And it's such a blessing to help them do this. And I'm much appreciative of the support that I've had from my constituent, Julie Campbell, and others to make this possible. And I'm so thankful for your support.
Is this your first bill?
It is.
All right. And this is Senator Bledsoe's first bill that will be signed into law. Okay. Next is House Bill 200, which was sponsored by Representative Ken Fleming. I mentioned earlier the work we're doing to address the nursing shortage, and this bill supports these efforts by creating an innovative public-private partnership program to support scholarships and improve and grow high-need health care programs. The bill creates the Healthcare Workforce Investment Fund. The fund enables the Council on Post-Secondary Education, healthcare programs, and healthcare providers and facilities to match public and private dollars for the purpose of awarding scholarships to eligible students and healthcare incentives to eligible healthcare programs. This will not only get us more healthcare workers we desperately need, but they'll come in with less debt, which is something that we would all like to see. We're pleased to have Dr. Aaron Thompson here with us today, representatives from CHI and U of L Healthcare, and I know others are here today to participate in the signing. Representative Fleming, would you like to say a few words? Congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you all very much. You know, the General Assembly has delivered over 127 bills and resolutions, but when two political parties agree on a policy, it's time to celebrate. And so thank you, Governor, for your support in signing of House Bill 22. I know you've been an advocate for some time, and so thank you very much in doing this. Healthcare Workforce Investment Fund is a creative and innovative approach to address our healthcare workforce shortage. This broad-reaching initiative helps nurses, nurses' aides, mental health counselors, dental hygienists, EMTs, paramedics, just to name a few. What we have accomplished is that we kick-started healthcare career paths for Kentuckians while putting a jetpack on education and training to fill the healthcare workforce pipeline. This public and private partnership will incentivize health providers and healthcare programs by emphasizing funds for scholarships and building up faculty. We also highlighted the needs to address the underserved areas in terms of geographical regions and professions, as well as including strong reporting requirements for a good return on the investment. In fact, this is so unique, it's my understanding that Congress will be introducing a bill modeled after this bill. Thank you goes to Representative Mosier and Hart and Senator Meredith for jumping in on board early in the process and their guidance and insight given their professional backgrounds. Just like Batman and Robin or the Green Hornet or Kato, we have another dynamic, powerful duo, Dr. Thomas and Dr. Sizemore of CPE. Without your leadership, enthusiasm, and intelligence, we would not be here today, so thank you. When my brother and I talked about healthcare workforce last fall, we hoped it would generate conversations just to get things set up for 2024. And as we worked it out throughout the months, things brilliantly came together. The process of how we went through this is similar to how the Olympic torch lights the Olympic flame. Each group took on the torch, carried it, and passed it on to the next group. These groups I want to mention, and if I don't include you, forgive me, but I want to say a sincere thank you to the Louisville Healthcare CEO Council, the Kentucky Nurses Association, the KHA, the Hospital Association, the Association of Intensicists, Kentucky Psychological Association, the Association for Healthcare Facilities, the Kentucky Center for Assisted Living, K-Beans, Kentucky Chamber, and GLI, and many more. I truly am excited about this significant and game-changing bill to meet the needs of Kentuckians' needs. Thank you for all you have done in making this a reality. And Governor, if you don't mind, if I could just get those people who join us to come and join us for signing as well, I appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you, Governor.
You're welcome. Oh no, you saw I had two young kids when I was there. I thought the city was going to come talk to me. All right. So Representative, this is the real thing. Ceremonial. Thank you.
The legislature, the executive branch, and those of us in higher education, our colleges and universities, we are dedicated to working in partnership with our legislature and the governor's office, as you've seen, but moreover with our private partners to do that. So I want to thank you for signing into law, Representative Fleming, for actually building this out in such a way that everybody could have a part in it. Thank you all very much.
Next, we have House Bill 320, sponsored by Representative Chris Freeland, that will make it easier for Kentucky to attract more drivers in our trucking industry. It allows applicants who have a non-residence operator's license and a commercial driver's instruction permit to take the CDL skills test within the state of Kentucky. This is a change that is really needed right now. We need more CDL drivers that are out there. When you are a logistics center for the United States, when you are a manufacturing leader for the United States, your products have to be able to reach their destination, and this bill is going to help us have more of those CDL drivers here in Kentucky. Representative Freeland, if you'd like to join us and say a few words. Desperately needed.
Thank you. Thank you. Very welcome. Well, thank you. And this bill I'm most proud of is that it was kind of organic. It was a constituent that brought this idea to me. He has a training school for truck drivers, and he had 12 students who were trying to get their driver's license, their CDL license, to drive school buses. And they were from Tennessee, and they wanted to work in Kentucky. Well, they would have to take the test in Tennessee. So this just opens it up, makes us competitive. Tennessee offers this to our drivers. So now we're doing this. It's a reciprocal type thing. So I'm very proud of it. And one of the best parts is that all the revenue that's generated will stay with the Kentucky State Police. So it doesn't come to the General Assembly. It goes straight to them so they can use that for their programs. But I'm very thankful to the legislature for passing this and for the governor for signing it and seeing the need for it. So thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Next is Senate Bill 54, sponsored by Senator Jared Carpenter. This is a very good piece of legislation that opens up KEYS eligibility to students attending proprietary schools that are not eligible to participate in the federal Pell Grant program. KEYS currently helps high school graduates participating in an approved registered apprenticeship or qualified workforce training program to request reimbursement of approved expenses from their KEYS earnings instead of having the funds sent to an eligible college or university. Under this bill, students must be enrolled in programs deemed high demand by the Workforce Innovation Board. Examples of these programs would include nursing programs or welding. We are proud to have John Holbrook with the Tri-State Building and Construction Trades Council, AFL-CIO. We also have Adam Henter, Director of the Kentucky Welding Institute, that are here with us today. The bill also clarifies that students are eligible to earn KEYS dollars if they attend accredited out-of-state high schools or the Department of Defense schools as a result of their parents' or guardians' military transfer outside of Kentucky, and that the student earned a KEYS base amount at a Kentucky high school prior to the military transfer out of Kentucky. The bill supports our military families. It also supports students wanting to attend a proprietary school to go directly into a highly needed, skilled trade that we know have so many jobs openings right now. This is truly a workforce bill that opens up these dollars that are already there to get people into high-demand fields. I want to thank Senator Carpenter for sponsoring the bill. He could not be with us today, but I'd like John Holbrook, Adam Hinton, and anybody else, if the Chamber and others would like to join us, please come on up and be a part. right. And finally, we have House Bill 32, sponsored by Representative Kevin Jackson. I have it under good authority that your grandson might be here running around the Capitol today. Is that true? Good. Is he here with us? Oh, my goodness. What's his name? Jude, who is here today, is 2. That makes him the youngest participant in our bill signings this year. Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman and I have always been an education-first administration. We know that to truly meet the needs of our future workforce, we must have enough teachers in our classrooms and classified employees in our schools carrying out critical functions, like making sure the children have healthy food and can get to school safely on our school bus. I'm proud to sign this bill, which is providing more opportunities for our school districts to hire school workers and then to help them obtain the high school equivalency diploma at no cost to the employee. This bill is a win-win-win. It gets more Kentuckians in the workforce. It helps support their education achievements, and it helps our schools and students. Representative Jackson, if you'd please join us to say a few words on what I think is going to be your first bill signed into law.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Governor. It's an honor to be here with you all for signing of House Bill 32. Those that know my background, I spent 37 years in education, 32 as a teacher and a coach, the last 5 years on the Warren County School Board. So when I got elected last fall, the first thing I wanted to do was come to Frankfort, and I wanted my first bill to be something that would benefit education, public education. And House Bill 32 does that. As the governor said, House Bill 32 in a nutshell gives the school system an opportunity to hire individuals without a high school diploma or a GED. But they will be able to work toward that if they so choose. I just called back to Warren County about 2 months ago when I started running this bill, and I asked our HR director, how many classified positions do we have open at this time? He said 100. We have 100 jobs open: cooks, custodians, bus drivers, aides, classroom aides. That's just in one school system. Out of 171, we had 100 open classified jobs. So we've got to do something to help our school systems fill these jobs across the state of Kentucky. So I'm tickled that we have an opportunity to do that. As the governor said, I think it's a win-win situation. Number one, it doesn't cost the state any money, okay? And number two, it gives individuals that would like to get a job to provide insurance for their families an opportunity to do that. Maybe they dropped out of school 25 or 30 years ago that they had to work. Now they can get a job and provide insurance. And number three, it gives those school systems an opportunity to bring individuals in that they can use in those classified positions that we just talked about. So I want to thank my colleagues in the House and the Senate for getting the ball down the field, and I want to thank the governor for getting the ball across the goal line and signing House Bill 32 today. Thank you, Governor. Come on.
Oh, no, we're not going to do it without him. Oh, your family's got to be a
Thank
part of
you.
it.
Thank you.
This is perfect. Hey. You want to hold this while I'm doing it? There you go. All right. Today, we are making good on the promise of building a better Kentucky for all of our families and ensuring that the next generation never has to leave this Commonwealth to chase their dreams. As the dad of 2 middle school children, this is personal to me. I want to thank each of these legislatures and the General Assembly for passing these bills aimed at giving our folks more opportunity, at boosting our workforce, at recognizing we've got the most red-hot economy of our lifetime. And that requires us to continue to innovate because we don't want that growth to stop any time soon. Thank you all very much.